Can a Metagross team get you to master rank or better? To figure that out, we've really got to analyze one major question, and that is, how does this team create winning positions? To begin, we have to understand something crucial, and what is this team's identity? This team is a balanced team, meaning that it's able to shift its position on the battlefield to maintain advantage, more of a defensive strategy. To accomplish this, we have to keep attackers healthy and able to pivot away from threats and in front of potential KOs. Now our next question is, how does our balanced team create wins? After all, there are millions of ways to win with Metagross, and the competitive ladder is no walk in the park. So, as a balanced team, there are many resources available to adjust your position to what's currently happening in the battle. Much of Metagross' survival depends on the support around it, in this case S.T.A.T.E and Incineroar. With access to attacks like Fake Out and Parting Shot, Incineroar creates space for Metagross to use an attack like Psychic Fangs or set up with Iron Defense. S.T.A.T.E is able to use its ability Hospitality to make sure Metagross keeps its health up, and Rage Powder removes the threat of single target attacks. The team does lack a true priority move outside of Fake Out, but there are options like Bullet Punch that allow for Metagross to target faster threats. Staraptor has access to Tailwind, and S.T.A.T.E uses Trick Room to maintain the speed control in the battle. Well, how can our team utilize these resources to win? Well, each Pokemon brings specific contributions to our team that allow us to maintain advantage leading up to its overall position. We'll begin with Metagross. Metagross is what we're working towards in most games with our resources. His high defense, strong attack, and great coverage allow for it to win out against many major threats in the meta, making it our endgame. Much like its endgame contribution, Metagross brings a lot to the team composition. Specifically, using its high defense and large coverage pool, Metagross can pose a threat to many Pokemon you'll find in the ladder, so we build a lot of our strategy around it. Our position here is a sweeper. We'll be utilizing all of these attacks, or all of these aspects of Metagross to make big attacks and clear our path to the win. Next, let's talk about Staraptor. Staraptor's main contribution to the team is targeting, bringing its typing and attack stat against foes Metagross struggles against. As the team's second Mega, Staraptor is another Mon that can build itself into a major threat with a combination of its contrary ability and attacks like Brave Bird. With access to Tailwind, Staraptor is able to maintain tempo in a battle. Along with its Intimidate ability, this Pokemon can allow our team to keep up and stay ahead in the right situations. Staraptor brings these traits together to be an offensive Pokemon on our team, whether as our major threat or an offensive pivot. Let's talk about Incineroar. Incineroar is a major part of our strategy with its strong typing, defensive capabilities, and deep move pool. Metagross would struggle without the support of Fake Out to set up or hit first, Parting Shot to safely pivot in, and its fire typing to help resist threats. Those same traits are also what help our team keep tempo with other teams. When the opponent is attempting to set up their own strategy or threaten our position, Incineroar is there to slow them down. As one of the premier support Pokemon in the entire game, Incineroar fits well into this composition through its support of Metagross. Without him, again, our team would lose its ability to slow the opponent and avoid threats. After that, we have to talk about S.T.A.T.E, and I would argue that much of this team's composition is based around having S.T.A.T.E in the mid to late game. With access to healing like Hospitality and Life Dew, and redirection like Rage Powder, S.T.A.T.E is essential for the team's survival to and through the endgame. S.T.A.T.E also allows for the team to adapt to threats in many ways. Metagross is able to burn foes and reduce physical damage. Trick Room is able to reset the speed or give our team the advantage, and its healing allows our team to survive fights they would lose on their own. Where Incineroar is one of the best support Pokemon, S.T.A.T.E is easily my favorite. S.T.A.T.E is constantly able to shift the team into favorable and advantageous positions and away from potential threats. Let's talk about Hydreigon. Hydreigon is our premier offensive utility Pokemon as it offers high special attack and speed, along with its access to a deep move pool with tons of coverage. Utilizing items like the Focus Sash, Hydreigon is able to nearly guarantee damage against the right foes. Hydreigon's adaptability comes as an attachment to its first contribution, targeting. With Hydreigon's specific traits on the battlefield, opponents must deal with it quickly or offer up their position to it. It comes as no surprise that Hydreigon is one of our offensive Pokemon, as it allows us to maintain or get into positional advantage through its powerful compositions. And lastly, we want to talk about Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales gives us many contributions in one package, allowing us to safely and quickly adapt to an opposing composition. Specifically, Alolan Ninetales' Snow Warning ability gives our team the necessary means to fight opposing weather teams, as their boosted power can pose a threat without mitigation. Her second contribution comes through the tempo we're granted through her move pool. In continuity with Snow Warning, Blizzard and Aurora Veil provide excellent coverage into and away from many meta threats. As mentioned, Alolan Ninetales offers ways for our team to pivot into and fight through different threats, granting it the hybrid position. We can use Alolan Ninetales both as a supportive and offensive Pokemon, gaining us critical advantage through the match. If all of these are important pieces, what is essential? What has to be protected to get us to a winning position? Well, thinking back, we know that we have a balanced team, so that tells us some important things. We have to protect the tempo of our team and its means of adapting to the current board state, so we can achieve our endgame. Looking at our composition, we can see that our team needs to keep up with its opponent and have means of getting into attacks and out of trouble. If this is lost, we're not going to get Metagross away from threats or in front of the Pokemon that it can and should be knocking out. So that sounds really good in theory, right? But how does this actually play out? Well, let's take our general defensive composition of Metagross, Incineroar, Hydreigon, and Sinistcha. Let's think through how we could play this into a winning position. We'll lead with Incineroar and Metagross. Incineroar provides coverage with Fake Out for Metagross to Mega Evolve and then set up with Iron Defense. Metagross can then use Body Slam or a coverage move as Incineroar attacks or uses Parting Shot to bring in a more helpful ally. In the mid game, bring in Sinistcha to heal with Hospitality and or Life Dew. With Rage Powder on the field, Metagross is safer to attack or switch in a new partner. Hydreigon can then clean up any remaining threats with the help of Sinistcha and close out the game. So to evaluate the team's ability to create these winning positions, let's look at its state score. Now, state is just a rubric that measures how well these 5 metrics are utilized to create positional advantage. These are the 5 pillars I've continued to analyze as I've studied competitive play. They come up a lot and the language may be different, but the concepts are always the same. Those 5 pillars being strategy, tempo, adaptability, targeting, and in-game. So let's break down our team. For targeting, we have 2 Pokemon that contribute to this score. For tempo, we have 3 Pokemon that contribute to this. We have 3 Pokemon that also contribute to our adaptability. We have 2 Pokemon that contribute to our major targeting, and we have 2 Pokemon that contribute to our in-game. So if we were to tally all of this up, that being 2 contributions for each Pokemon as we saw, we would come up with tempo and adaptability being our highest scores, really bringing us out to be a balanced team. So by tallying up the contributions of our team or your own team, we can get an idea of the team's strengths and weaknesses towards gaining position in the game. Now, as seen in our team's identity, we focus on balance. So we utilize our tools towards the end game in essential winning positions. So what do we have to look out for with this team? We have so many strong pieces. We have so many strong capabilities. What in the meta is a threat to our winning positions? Well, first and foremost, weather is the biggest threat, with mainly sun teams bringing out Metagross's weakness to fire. Balanced teams and teams with dedicated speed control like Trick Room can also be difficult. Hyper-offensive teams can pose a threat if their advantage is defined early. Now, despite that, we still have ways that we can adapt. We can use Ninetales along with Staraptor to win the weather war if our timing and our play is correct. Sinistcha can set or work within Trick Room, and Staraptor has access to Tailwind to allow us to stay in the speed control. Hydreigon is a great overall coverage Pokemon, and it gets into many of the meta threats and can oppose and threaten them with damage. So when we go back to our original question, can a Metagross team get you to master rank or better? The answer is a resounding yes, as the team's overall balance allows it to stay well positioned and its offensive power gives it the means to take out threats. But before you go, here's your position lab. Look at the team below. Using the information from the video as evidence, comment which of the 5 pillars, being strategy, tempo, adaptability, targeting, or endgame in our state score, are this team's greatest strength. Comment below, and I would love to know your answer. Hope this was helpful for you, and don't run in the halls, you guys.